Hey, welcome back. Wanted to give a little update on my earlier video about moving, and it's happening. I am headed to the Philippines in 10 weeks. So, wanted to give a little update and kind of maybe see if I could help if you're thinking about doing something like that in the future and kind of map out a little bit what I did and see if that could be of assistance. So the first and foremost thing I would say is this, I was guilty of this also. So this I wish I would have taken my own advice 9 months ago. I started looking at doing this about 9 months ago, back in probably October, November. I was researching originally Thailand and then the Philippines, and I kind of went back and forth and back and forth, and then I kind of kept making excuses and saying, oh, I'll do it. Now's not a good time to go. I want to have this in order, that in order. So everybody does that, and they're probably going to do that, and usually that's what prevents them from ever doing it. Though, is the downside of that is you always make excuses, and you tell yourself now's not a good time to go, or I need to have this. My finances need to be perfect. I need to have X amount of money in the bank, and whatever BS you're going to come up with to stop yourself from doing it. So my recommendation would be, of course, you need to have those things in order. That kind of goes without saying, right? But stop making excuses and make a drop dead date. So what I did was, I'm a little old school, and I just got an old-fashioned calendar or planner, and I picked roughly 2 weeks, and I said, all right, this is my drop dead date. I want to be gone by this date. If I fly out before that, that's even better. But I need to have everything in order by then. I need to have my stuff in storage. I need to have whatever I'm going to sell sold. I need to have I have a car over here. What am I going to do with that? And have all those things mapped out, 100% certainty by that time. And that forces your hand, because then you're going to actually do things to make it happen once you have a drop dead date, right? If you keep having this arbitrary plan in your head of, oh, well, next summer I'm going to do it. In my mind, it's too vague. I have to make something hard and fast and stick to it. So that's what I did, and it actually worked amazing for me. Once I did that, it kind of set everything in motion, where I felt a little pressure, honestly, of like, oh shit, this is really going to happen. And then this morning I booked my ticket, and then it's really hitting me now, like, all right, this is, sure, I could cancel the ticket, right? But that's pretty set in stone in my mind, right? If I'm buying a plane ticket and making reservations, and I need to rent an apartment over there soon, and we'll talk about that. So that's going to force your hand. I think forcing your hand sometimes in life is a good thing, right? You got to push yourself out of your comfort zone, because your comfort zone is what keeping you limited most times, and keeping you from doing things and exploring and living life to the fullest, because you make excuses. Everybody's guilty of it. I'm guilty of it also. So just my advice. So do your research, find out where it is you want to go. YouTube is an amazing thing nowadays. Everything that I learned about Thailand and the Philippines, I found on YouTube and some random articles. So more than enough research out there to make your decision on very good information. You can watch millions of videos on exactly wherever it is you want to go, and feel very educated about your decision. So that's what I did, and one of the things to think about is obviously the big one is how you're going to pay for all this, right? I'm fortunate enough that I technically don't have to work, but I do want to do something for extra income. I could not work and live very comfortably in the Philippines for the rest of my life, but I won't have a lot of extra money to travel and do things, and that is not a very appealing life to me either, right? I don't want to be broke in the Philippines and just live. So my goal is to get over there, and like I said in the other videos, use that as a home base, and I want to travel throughout the Philippines. I want to see Thailand. I want to travel throughout Thailand. I want to see Bali. I want to go to Japan. Lots of places still even in Europe that I want to head out to. But my thought is, when I'm using the Philippines as home base and everything's so cheap there, right, I'm gonna have a lot of extra money to do these things. Where when I was based here in the US and you're paying $2,500 or $3,000 a month rent or mortgage payment, that's a big lump to swallow. So it's really limiting your ability to do that. When I can go to the Philippines and live in a great place for $400 or $500 a month, right? That's going to free up a lot of money. So that's my plan. I've been looking into doing some other online things. I'm going to post a link in the description. I have no association with this other YouTube channel. I just came across it, and she seems to put out some valuable information. She specializes in online remote work. One of the things that I did find out just through researching some stuff on remote work is most of these US-based companies want you to be US-based also. So you're not going to be able to disclose the fact that you're in Thailand or the Philippines or wherever it is you're at. You're going to have to use a US-based address. I did find out that some employers can actually find out through your IP address that you're not a US-based person. Apparently there's workarounds for that. VPNs, I guess, can conceal your IP address, or there's a way to route it to make it appear that it's through a US server. But most jobs, I'm assuming, aren't going to go through that work to find out where you're originated out of. Unless there were probably, there was complaints about your performance, you were just not available. And that's the other thing to think about is availability. Unfortunately, the town I'm going to go to is called Dumaguete, Philippines. Looks like an amazing town and is perfect for what I want to do, but they do have brownouts where they have literal power outages pretty regularly, I guess. So that's a potential problem, obviously, right? If you're working remotely and you obviously need internet, most jobs aren't going to be just okay with you just being MIA for a day or 6-8 hours because you had a power outage. You could get away with it for a little while, right? That's another big consideration. How reliable is the internet? How reliable is the power, right? All these things I've kind of thought about, and some of the condo complexes have generators and stuff like that, so that's something to think about. And then, yeah, the town, like I said, I'm picking, it's called Dumaguete in the Philippines, and probably 100 different YouTube channels out there that talk about Dumaguete and done reviews and travel vlogs and you name it. So I feel very comfortable going there. I feel like it's a good decision. I was looking at there or Cebu, and Cebu seems a little too big for my taste. Like I said, I live in Tampa currently, and I kind of want to get away from the big city life. I've lived in big cities on and off the majority of my adult life, and it doesn't really appeal to me that much. I don't want to live out in the middle of the jungle either. So Dumaguete is kind of a good mix, right? You can go north into the mountains, beaches all over the place. It's right on the water. Seems to be the right sized town, and I'll do lots of videos on my time there, travel vlogs and all that kind of stuff throughout Dumaguete in the Philippines. But that's what I did, and that's my plan. And like I said, if you're thinking about doing something like this, there's no time like now. Like I said, if you can force yourself to do it, if it's something you're seriously considering about doing, force yourself. Don't put this goal 1 or 2 years down the road unless you absolutely have to, right? Force yourself and say, all right, I'm doing this in 6 months. And guess what that's going to do? It's going to make your ass get some online jobs. You're going to start applying for every online job that looks good because you're going to say, I need to have my finances in order. And I'm going to apply to, if I got to apply to 50 jobs to get a remote job and get that started before I leave, I'm going to do that because you have no other choice then. So that would be my advice, and I will keep you guys posted. I'll do lots and lots of videos once I get over there and get up and running. I want to just kind of give a little update, and 10 weeks from now, yeah, I will be in the Philippines, so it's going to happen sooner than I think. So, all right, hopefully that's helpful. See you guys.